guys, it's Kay. Welcome back to my channel, The Organized Soprano, where I am here to inspire you to live a more organized life. If you guys don't know me, I'm Kay. I'm a professional home organizer and singer here in the Boston area, and I wanted to do the famous assumptions tag. I know I'm kind of late to this party, but this is what all the cool kids are doing, so I figured, you know what, let's jump on a trend train, let's have a little fun. So I am going to answer or respond or react, I guess, to your assumptions about me. I did ask for assumptions about a month ago on the community tab here on YouTube, but this morning I did reach out also on Twitter, not Twitter, on Instagram and also on Facebook. So if you guys are not following me on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, go ahead. I have all the links down in the description below. We have fun on Twitter. We have fun on Instagram. I'm gonna step up my Instagram game. I've been saying that for a year, but I'm really gonna step up my Instagram game in the next couple of months. So we have fun there. So go ahead and follow me down there on my social media platforms. Fun.
I filmed this entire video with white dog hair on my head. Enjoy.
Okay, so for the most part, I'm gonna say you guys are super nice. I have one of the best, kindest audiences on YouTube, so I really wanna thank you guys for being so nice and saying really nice things about you. You guys are just so nice for the most part. And for those of you who wanna know, Clover is like right there. He's having a nap. He was barking out the window a few minutes ago, so I moved him in here, and every time he sees a dog out the window, he like goes crazy. So we have him right here. But the window is wide open, so when you get this beautiful natural light, it's raining today, so he might bark again. So let's just hope it stays quiet. Okay, number one, you don't want to have kids. I got this a couple of times, and yeah, that's true. I don't really want to have kids. I never really wanted to. When I was a kid, when people would give me baby dolls as a gift, I'd be like, ooh, thanks. Because I always thought, and I'm dead serious about this, playing dolls and pretending like you were someone's mom was way too serious a game, and I didn't want to have anything to do with it. And I haven't had baby fever or anything like that since. So yeah, so right now, my husband and I don't have any desire to have kids, and we just like being dog parents. I am still of childbearing age, so who knows, it might change in the future, but for right now, we are happy being just parents to Clover. I assume that you have as twisted sense of humor as do I, but you filter it for your subscribers. So yes, my sense of humor offline of YouTube is a little less family friendly and a little more adult. I am a fan of all things funny, and my friends and I have probably a sailor type mouths, but of course we don't share that here on YouTube because A, I don't really want that to be part of my brand, and B, I don't want to be demonetized. If you want a little view into like what my sense of humor really is like, you can listen to the Derek and Kay Show. That is the weekly podcast that I record with my friend Derek and I. We have been friends for over 20 years, I think, and we have the most fun just messing around. Who likes that song?
Oh, by the way, speaking of Christmas songs,
yeah,
we're out on the little drummer boy.
The LDB challenge, you know about this?
You gotta know about this.
No.
You're
Seriously?
still in then, apparently.
I saw someone talking about it, and I was like, what's the LBD challenge?
No, that's Little Black Dress. LDB.
I misposted, but Sarah told me and I corrected it.
There is an LBB.
I love that challenge too. So you basically just, you're trying not to hear Little Drummer Boy.
I'm in. I'm still in.
You're still in. Wow, you're
still
close.
in.
You're almost gonna make it.
I was actually listening this morning because I was reminded that we did an interview with Melissa Maker from Clean My Space about 4 years ago when she had about 100,000 subscribers. So it was a really great interview. I actually listened to this morning. So if you want to listen to it, I'm going to link it down below. It was a fun interview. So if you want a sense of what my sense of humor is really like, I'll also link like some highlights from the show down below. We're not super family friendly, but we have fun. I assume that you prefer time alone rather than time with people that are not your hubby. That is true. There was a comment on my community tab that said I was an introvert that acted like an extrovert, and that's true. I actually am an introvert. I do like my solitude time. I do love solitude. I don't think I can have too much solitude. I don't get lonely. I guess I could say it that way. I always have something to do. I have work to do. I have things to write, things to read, things to play. And I guess that comes from being an only child, sort of, and being able to self-soothe. But I do really like solitude, and I do get a little bit stressed out by going to parties where I don't know people. When I went to Vid Summit this year, not this year, but last year, there was this party during the first evening, and I went down from my hotel room to this party where I didn't know anybody, and I spent 10 minutes there and went back up to my room because I was just so uncomfortable because I didn't know anyone, and I'm not good at just introducing myself to a bunch of strangers, so I am a little bit awkward with people I don't know. However, I do present as an extrovert because I am a performer, and I am able to sort of handle myself when I'm with people. But that being said, I don't like parties really, and I don't prefer to spend time in crowds. I actually hate crowds. I won't go to like parades, amusement parks. I don't really go to rock concerts anymore. I don't like crowds, so, and that comes, I have a little bit of anxiety about crowds. But yeah, short story long, yes, I prefer solitude. The next assumption is I only studied music. Here's the thing. I have two, I guess, college degrees in music. I have a bachelor's in music, and I have a master's in music. But after that, I went to school for 2 years in a post-baccalaureate program where I studied science to be a veterinary medical doctor. That's what I wanted to do. I did not finish the program. I was like a couple credits short of finishing the program because I got injured, and I also figured out that I didn't really want the career after all. I spent a lot of time working in veterinary hospitals, and it did not feel right. I assume you come from a pretty well-off family. That is true. I come from a family, I'm an only child of two medical military doctors. My mother was an ophthalmologist and my father was an oral surgeon. At the height of their careers, they were colonels in the Army, so it was pretty cool. They did a very good job of instilling a strong work ethic in me, and never made me feel like I was, I guess, quote unquote spoiled. I mean, I never wanted for anything, and Christmases were always like super insane, but I never felt that I deserved to get anything. I asked for a pony repeatedly and never got one. They were far from giving me everything I wanted, but I never really felt like I was being spoiled, but yet I had everything that I needed. I assume you have a very big heart, oh that's nice, and would love to give Clover a brother or sister puppy if you had the room. Well, it's a big heart thing. Thank you very much. I guess I'm a nice person. I don't know, you'd have to ask my friends. But as far as Clover having a brother or sister, I have mixed feelings. I love being I love that Clover is sort of like the only child, kind of like me, because I can give him all of my love and affection. But I do think it would be fun to have two, because he would have somebody to play with. But then I think I'm like, oh my gosh, that's twice the vet bills, twice the food, twice the hair, twice the supplies, but it's also, twice the love. So I don't know, maybe if we had like a detached house. My husband is calling. Hello?
Hey, how are you?
I'm fine. I'm in the middle of recording a video.
Oh, can you send me like a Clover picture?
Yeah, I can send you a Clover picture. I assume that you are one of the kindest people on God's earth, and you are a good friend with a wicked sense of humor. Well, thank you. That's so nice. I want to be kind and spread kindness. I assume you're well-read and enjoy the many museums Boston has to offer. Am I well-read? I don't know. I do have a favorite author. His name is Alain de Botton. I don't know if that's the right way to pronounce his name, but I have read a lot of his books and I think they're really good. I don't know if I'm well read or not. I like to read nonfiction books more. Now I like to read more about business and self-development. That's just something I'm going through. But I do like the museums in Boston, in particular the MFA. Love that place. It's free on Wednesdays after 4, so if you want to check it out, that's the time, because otherwise it's like, I don't know how much it is again, like $25, which is insane to me because I'm from DC, okay? And in DC, the Smithsonian, she's free. And when I came here and it wasn't free, I was offended. I was like, really? You have to pay $25 to get in here? It better be good. Okay, the MFA is good, okay, but it's not as good as Smithsonian. It's not. So when I go there, when I go back to home to DC, I always like to go to the Smithsonian. And in particular, I like to visit the Natural History Museum, which is my favorite because I'm a science nerd. And the Bug Zoo happens to be my favorite place on earth. A couple of years ago, I'm trying to get over my whole weirdness with bugs. I did hold a hissing cockroach in my hand. And fun fact, the feet, surprisingly soft. You wouldn't expect it. Feet were soft. Unbelievable. Anyway, so that I went on way too long. I assume you were in music at a very young age, possibly beginning with Suzuki violin or the Kodali method, and also in children's and youth choirs. That is really interesting that you would assume that. That's a fun assumption because I did actually study Suzuki method, but I did Suzuki piano and not violin. I did take 1 semester of violin in college though, and I was terrible. But I took Suzuki piano. I started on piano when I was 8 or 9 when I was living in Georgia, and then we moved to DC, and then I took with a Suzuki instructor who was awesome. And from then I took voice lessons, and I didn't sing in any child's choirs. I really didn't start singing seriously until about high school. In high school, I went to one of those magnet schools where you could major in one of the performing arts. So I chose voice, and that's where I did the most of my pre-college voice study. I did also study outside of school, and I was in a musical theater review company. Suzuki piano, definitely where I started, and Mississippi hot dog all the way. Yes, let's shout out Mississippi hot dog one time. That you attended Boston University and you are biracial. These are interesting assumptions. So 1, I did not attend Boston University. I went to Boston Conservatory, which is on the other side of Back Bay, down the street a little bit. And I am, well, I guess everyone who is of African-American descent has some of the non-African genes. I, however, come from 2 primarily African-American parents. I do have an Irish great-grandmother, so that is the closest, I guess, non-mainly African-American relative that I know about. But I think I just happen to be of a coffee with cream skin color. I did get that comment a lot in middle school, which I thought was kind of funny. I assume you don't have a lot of friends, just a few good long friendships. That is true, I guess. I have a lot of those, those fringe acquaintances and friends, people you know and you hang out with when you're in the same situation. And I have a lot of friends who are, I guess, colleagues of mine. But I guess at the end of the day, when it really comes down to it, when I have my birthday party, I really only invite 4 people. I have had the same sort of core group of friends that I have had since the last year in college and the first few years of grad school. Especially the girlfriends, we're all very close. We all have known each other for over, 20 years. So those are my girls and my guys. So we are really close, really tight, and that's really all I need right now. Sarah is probably my closest friend. You guys have seen her in a couple videos. She's so funny and awesome, and we've shared a lot of good times. I assume you enjoy life and never let bad days hold you down. I do enjoy life a lot. I have been very fortunate to have an awesome childhood and a good life. I was very melancholy in my early 20s and mid 20s. Actually, my whole 20s, super melancholy. I have bad days just like everyone else. Some days I feel really poorly about myself, and I'm working on it. I'm very self-critical, so that is something I'm working on in therapy. But yeah, I have bad days just like everyone else, and some days I'm not taking anyone's call because I don't want to talk to you, because at home feeling sorry for myself. But in general, yes, I do enjoy life. I think that you have a finite time here on earth and that you should have the best time that you can have. I assume you're a really neat, fun person to be around. I hope so. I mean, I really do. I assume that you are one who puts the needs of others ahead of your own. Occasionally. Okay, I'm working on it. I have tried to achieve sort of a healthier balance lately. Again, working on it. I assume that you've never had a hissy fit of any kind. Not ever. This is most certainly not true. I have had a hissy fit maybe a handful of times in my life, right? And they were for like what I think are good reasons. I've only had like one or two like what I like to call diva fits related to like music stuff and soprano stuff. And I think they were for good reasons. That being said, if something is happening to you and you don't like it and you feel like it's unjust, you should stand up for yourself. Don't be insulting. Don't like go rant and rave and embarrass yourself, but you should stand up for yourself. And if it devolves into like a minor hissy fit, it's totally okay. And now in terms of like the husband and I in a relationship, I have hissy fits all the time. I'm like the most high I don't even know how he lives with me sometimes. I'm sorry, I don't mean to expose him, but when he puts the bowl or plate that he's been using like on top of the counter when the dishwasher is below that area where he's actually put the bowl or the plate, and I'm like, you were almost there. It gets me heated. I don't know why. I'm just like, I want to put a sign there that says no parking, but I think that's a little bit extra. But like, yeah, I throw hissy fits about little stuff all the time. I don't know. Clover does too. He's like the hissy fit king. Funny story, when we got him, we got a trainer to work with us for like a couple hours when we first got him when he was a puppy. And the first thing he noticed about him is something I noticed about him also immediately, is that he turned to me and goes, "He's really pushy, isn't he?" And I was like, yeah. I assume you can hold your liquor. I'm pretty much a lightweight. I'm pretty much a one and done, but I do like a good martini. But the martini will end your evening. Like, let's be honest. Like a good martini, like just gin, not like vodka-tini. It's not a martini. Stop. But a good martini with gin, like very dirty with olives, it will end your evening, basically. Like you have it, you have a good time, and I'm in the bed, sleeping. I assume your family adores you. I also assume you have a Monica closet. Do I have a Monica closet? I probably have a Monica like box where I store lots of things where I'm just not sure. I just like, I can't. And I actually have one box in the closet where it's like seasonal, but it's also like a hot mess. I think that my family likes me, I guess. I hope. I assume your husband doesn't want to be in your channel. He is camera shy. Oddly enough, he studied film in college, but he does not want to be in front of the camera. The couple of times he has appeared, he's very self-conscious about it. So I don't want to force him, but I would like if he was on camera more. You guys would like him. He's very sweet, and those of you who have seen him know also that he's very handsome. But I am very, very biased, but I do think he is like rather dashing. Okay, last one. I assume you've never been fired. Okay, believe it or not, I actually have been fired from a job. I was a riding instructor at a barn, and I did not allow my students to advance without having a decent, safe seat. And that being said, a lot of them did not advance. And for that reason, I was fired because I did not want to put my students in danger. So being fired is not the end of the world. And also, if you are strong about your convictions and your beliefs, you want somebody that's going to appreciate that. And if that involves being unemployed for a little bit, it's totally fine. It's not the end of the world. So yeah. Okay, this video is getting a little too long. I didn't get to everyone's, but a lot of you said really, really beautiful, kind things about me, and I want to let you guys know that I absolutely adore you all. Thank you so much for helping me make this journey on YouTube so fun and just a really great thing in my life. So if you guys would love to connect with me on social media, again, the links are down below. I hope you guys are having a great morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Bean, are you awake? Why are you awake? Hello? Bean Bean. What do you think? What do you think? What do we do now? Do we get lunch? You want McDonald's? Is that bad? It is bad, right? I want French fries though. You want a French fry? Yeah? Okay, let me get a French fry. Okay, let's go to McDonald's. Let's go. You want to come with me? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, you can't get down. All right. Let's go.